This is your PIX Now update. I'm Ken Bastida.
And I'm Veronica Dela Cruz. Here are some of your top headlines.
And for the first time in 16 years, Attorney General William Barr says the Justice Department will again begin to carry out executions of federal death row inmates. But currently, there are 62 federal inmates on death row. 5 have been convicted of murdering children and the elderly. If the order holds, their executions would start in December. The last federal execution was back in 2003. California Governor Gavin Newsom firing back at today's announcement, writing, quote, "Our death penalty system has been by all measures a failure. It has discriminated against defendants who are mentally ill, black and brown, or can't afford expensive legal representation. Most of all, the death penalty is absolute. It's irreversible and irreparable in the event of human error."
16 Marines have been arrested today at Camp Pendleton in San Diego County. They're being accused of drug-related offenses and human smuggling, among other crimes. The arrests were carried out during battalion formation. The military says none of those arrested were involved in helping to enforce border security.
Billionaire and accused pedophile Jeffrey Epstein is on suicide watch today. That's according to law enforcement sources who say on Monday he was found injured in his New York jail cell. It is not clear whether his injuries were self-inflicted. He was treated in the infirmary and has since been returned to his cell. Investigators are checking internal cameras to find out exactly what happened. Epstein is charged with sex trafficking minors, and he has pleaded not guilty to all charges.
Here in the Bay Area, bail has been set for 2 men accused of robbing a Contra Costa County amusement center. And officials say it may be the highest in county history. These are the suspects: Vincent Timmons and Gary Dillahunty. Dillahunty worked as a guard at the center and is accused of facilitating the robbery. Police are still looking for a third man. The robbery happened back in May at Round 1 in Concord's Sun Valley Mall. Police say 2 masked men held employees at gunpoint, tied their hands behind their backs, and then made off with cash. Detectives identified Timmons and arrested him last week in San Francisco. Bail for both he and Dillahunty now set at $100 million.
In San Francisco, 4 people lucky to be alive after this frightening crash in the Bayview district. You can see that car has been completely cut in half. Police say about 1:30 this morning, car crashed into a fire hydrant at 3rd and Carroll Avenue. The 4 people who were inside all expected to survive. Police say speed appears to be the factor.
New leadership at BART today. The board of directors appointed Robert Powers as the new general manager. Powers takes over at a critical time for BART, the transit agency facing expansion issues, a multi-million-dollar fare evasion problem, and declining passenger satisfaction.
We will deliver on the projects that we've promised: a new fleet car replacement program, a new train control system, rebuilding our infrastructure, reducing crowding, increasing service, and a fully staffed BART Police Department.
Powers has been with BART for 7 years, serving as deputy general manager for the last 3 years. He takes over after the last GM announced her unexpected retirement back in April.
Now to a live look outside from our Dublin camera, where you can see the wind blowing some of those trees, if you have really good eyesight, on this beautiful afternoon. Chief Meteorologist Paul Diano is tracking conditions for us. Paul, is it real windy out there?
It is a light breeze, a little bit more than yesterday, and that breeze is bringing in a little bit more humidity, some cloud cover, and temperatures that are not as hot. Granted, 95 is still hot in Concord, but it's not the 102 that you were at yesterday, so we're 7 degrees cooler. Livermore down to 94, still toasty, but not as hot as yesterday. San Jose, you're much cooler, down to 83. Santa Rosa, 81. And San Francisco, about 12 degrees cooler, 63 degrees. Look at all the thunderstorms between Yosemite and Lake Tahoe. Numerous lightning strikes there. There's about a 5% chance that we may get lightning here without any rainfall. You call that dry lightning. It would be a thunderstorm passing by where the rain evaporates before hitting the ground. A 95% chance it's not going to happen, but it's a non-zero chance of hearing a rumble of thunder overnight tonight as we have some monsoonal moisture coming up from the south. You can see the cloud cover hasn't been there all day long, but we have some high high clouds that have passed over the Bay Area throughout the day. As a result of that increase in humidity and cloud cover, it is much cooler. 13 degrees cooler today in Santa Rosa, 8 degrees cooler in Hayward, 9 degrees cooler at SFO. Mild night tonight, Vallejo 59, San Jose 62, and tomorrow with a mixture of sun and clouds, temperatures pretty close to average, only 1 degree above average in San Francisco, 2 degrees above average in San Jose with a high of 84. There is a heat watch that's in effect for parts of the Bay Area for the upcoming weekend. We'll talk about how warm we're going to get. That's at 5 o'clock on KPIX 5. For now, that's your PIX Now forecast.
Sounds good, Paul. Thank you. The 2020 Summer Olympics in Tokyo are a year away, but we already have a look at the medals. This is pretty cool. Get this. They're all made out of more than 78,000 tons of recycled electronics, including over 6 million old cell phones. The Tokyo 2020 Medal Project collected these cell phones and electronics for about 2 years, and it's estimated that about 5,000 medals will be handed out at the Games.
Check out this quick fix by a Colorado driver. His taillight broke, right? So he taped in a red Gatorade bottle while he was on the way to getting it fixed. Police say while they appreciated his DIY effort, they do not encourage other drivers to try this. But they did let the driver go with just a ticket.
I'm Dennis O'Donnell. Here is the latest in Bay Area sports. The 49ers report to training camp tomorrow in Santa Clara, and they hit the field Saturday with all their rookies signed, sealed, and delivered. Second overall pick, Nick Bosa, waited to the 11th hour to sign his deal. Ordinarily, not a huge deal, but his brother Joey had a lengthy holdout with the Chargers over a dispute involving his signing bonus. Nick decided not to follow in Bro's footsteps, but he is dealing with a mild hamstring injury. Second-round receiver Deebo Samuel also signed his deal today. Make no mistakes, Giants have been nothing short of amazing, but while the Giants fight to stay over 500, the A's are on a pace for another 90-win season, and tonight host division foe Texas at the Coliseum. First pitch set for 7 p.m. in Oakland. Brett Anderson, who has a 9-5 record, will oppose Texas starter Aurelio Gerardo in the first game of a tough 12-game stretch where the A's will face Texas, Milwaukee, St. Louis, and the Cubs. Here's the playoff standings. The A's are 7.5 back of the Astros for the division, but they have a 1-game lead on the Rays for that second playoff spot. The A's went 1-3 against the Astros on the road trip. Justin Verlander carved them up yesterday, 11 strikeouts. The former Cy Young winner is 4-0 against the A's since he was traded to Houston in 2017. He's a huge reason why the A's have been the bridesmaids in the American League West.
Well, anytime you can be dominant in your division, much less the team that's second in your division, is huge. You need to keep the separation. I mean, obviously, if they're thinking that they've come in and somehow find a way to sweep us, they're right in this thing. So, I'm sure that was on their mind, and our job is just to go out there and play good baseball and keep the separation, keep the gap, if not expand it. And we were able to do that.
MLB.com is reporting that the Giants are not planning to trade Madison Bumgarner before next week's trade deadline. Bumgarner is scheduled to pitch Sunday against the Padres in San Diego. Remember when A's fans were chanting, "I believe in Stephen Vogt"? Giants fans might want to start chanting the same thing. Vogt was 3 for 4 yesterday and is finally starting to recover from that shoulder surgery he had in the offseason that cost him all of last year with Milwaukee. Vogt's in the lineup about every other day, but you can make a case for more playing time. Since July 13th, he's got a .357 average, 6 doubles, 2 home runs, and 6 runs batted in.
Obviously I'm just going up there trying to hit the ball hard. I know it sounds cliche, but it's the truth. And, just working really hard to keep my rhythm and timing going in between starts. And been fortunate enough to get some pitches and hit them where they're not in the outfield. So, I obviously worked hard this winter to change some things with my swing with having the full year off last year. So, and the goal was to try and drive the ball to the outfield better. And, fortunately, so far I've been able to do that.
Vogt's also known as one of the baseball's good guys. He grew up a Giants fan in the Central Valley and seems to be one of the most popular players in the clubhouse wherever he goes. Ever wonder why Vogt and the rest of the hitters do this T symbol gesture when they get on base. It goes back to Vogt's referee technical foul impression, a bit from his days in Oakland.
I got a double tech. We got no shot, green, 2, 3, player out of control, out of bounds. Yep. Count it. White, 1, 5. Block, 1.
So now you know.
That's some choreography there.
There is something certainly foul about the way the Padres have been playing lately. They've lost 9 of their last 12, and they lost the series today against the Mets in New York. The Mets scored 4 times in the first inning. Would have been 1 had Hunter Renfroe made that catch. San Diego couldn't get anything going against Jacob deGrom, who had 9 strikeouts in 7 scoreless innings. Mets win 4-0. Padres fly back to face the Giants tomorrow. And Fremont High School product Troy Tulowitzki retired from Major League Baseball today. He played 10 of his 13 years with the Rockies, made 5 All-Star games, won a couple of Gold Gloves. Tulo had been dealing with injuries the last few years of his career, and it's unfortunate because this guy was a force in the major league. You know, who knows what numbers he would have accumulated, but he.
You know, it's funny though.
Player.
You're right, and he, injuries, and he's 34 years old, which is considered getting up there, right? But when you've been playing since you're 8 years old, 34 is a long time. He made a lot of money.
I think there's
and we wish him well.
Yeah, I think there's a stat for certainly in the NFL where the average length of your NFL career is 3 years.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
that's it?
Yeah, 3 years.
Baseball's a little different, though.
Baseball, I don't know what the average length is, but the point is, even 34 is a young age, and there's a small window. So I don't blame players for getting what they can when they can get it, because that window closes pretty quickly.
What is it for news anchors? Did you check that stat?
Well, how long have you been here? How long have you been? You've been in the business
for a long time.
I
started when I was in college.
Really?
Yeah. So I think I've been in the business now.
10 years?
No, like 15, 16, 17.
15. That's pretty. It's impressive. Yeah. Ken, you're a dinosaur.
Ken is tight-lipped on that one.
5th decade.
No, I mean that as a compliment. The business has served. He's
all those dinosaurs are providing fossil fuel so you can drive. So respect the dinosaurs.
Exactly.
All I say.
Thank you for bailing me out.
That's all right.
We stream our KPIX 5 News at 5 every day on KPIX.com, and we'll be back in less than 60 minutes.
PIX Now is sponsored by the admission-free Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk.
Well, I'm going to the beach where I belong.
Summer is here, so get to the beach.
Where the days are warm and the nights are long.
The admission-free boardwalk is open daily. Check out beachboardwalk.com and we'll see you at the